Hello, hello. Welcome to the JD Theory podcast. Today we're going to be talking about, in long form, the WWE RAW 9/29/25. This just came out yesterday as of recording. I think this will probably go up on Wednesday, most likely. Regardless, let's go over what happened. And yeah, this is going to be a no editing, straight through. It's a podcast. That's what I'm calling it, so I could just be lazy, right? Okay, so Raw starts out. We get Rhea Ripley calls out the Kabuki Warriors, and Io Sky comes out. Here, I'm just going to go through my notes. I wrote, glad Rhea is being used again in a major plot. Io is conflicted somehow after being attacked by Asuka. Asuka asked for an apology on the Titantron. Warriors surprise attack. Io gets the mist, just like Rhea last week. I wrote, love Asuka making big moves these last 2 weeks. It's fun and silly, but it still has heart to it. And now, did this segment accomplish anything? Yes. We are moving in a direction. Asuka is becoming the big bad over on Monday Night Raw. Now, it makes sense. We do have a void in that position with Naomi gone and Liv Morgan gone. Somebody has to take the reins. Excuse me. Now, Io Sky, this is a good way to get her out of the world title scene for a little bit, because she had this going on already. Gives Rhea something to do instead of just appearing backstage segments. And it puts a big spotlight on Asuka, who, since returning, hasn't felt too major. But they've been building this up for a while, and glad we're seeing it come to fruition. Now for Kairi Sane, people are already online saying Bloodline Sami Zayn. Maybe. But let's just see how this one shakes up. Because it almost feels like Kairi is just loyalty conflicting with emotions. But I don't know, maybe they shock us and Kyrie's also real evil, gets cynical. Who knows? She'll probably end up turning face and Asuka turns big heel. Maybe Kyrie gets the mist next week. Who knows? Alright, but was that segment good? It was pretty good. It was, like I said, silly, fun. It's moving the plot in a direction we've been waiting to see it go. And if I had to guess, the winner of this is likely to go on to, face the tag team champs, hopefully. Can we use the belts? Are we allowed to use the belts? Alright. Excuse me, I had just woken up. It's 9 a.m. as I'm recording this. We have Dom versus Rusev for the IC belt. Here, let me run through the notes. Rusev is such a beast. Finn and JD abandon ringside. Dom is playing chicken shit tactics. Rusev is insanely strong and so good at delivering impact. Awesome match, ton of fun, hilarious ending with multiple fake-out DQs, but Dom was sneaky enough to get a low blow in. Love the Eddie Guerrero spot with the belt toss and pretending he was hit. Really wish Rusev won that title, but Dom has been so great that I'm okay with him squeaking this defense in. Did this match serve a purpose? See, this is what I'm not sure about. Did this match serve a purpose? Are we going to build to Rusev versus Dom at a PLE? Because later in the card, we have Dragon Lee call out Dom Mysterio. So are we just going to brush Rusev under the rug, even though he put on a dominant performance, but got weaseled out by Dom? I mean, we let it happen to AJ twice, but it happening to Rusev, I don't know if I'm buying it. we kind of got to... I want this to be ran back at a pay-per-view. Give the belt to Rusev. This way Dom could focus on being the AAA Mega Champion. You know. And then you could set up Rusev versus Sheamus Part 2. And then Sheamus could get that Grand Slam. It just makes sense. You know, there's direction with Rusev getting the belt. Dom's had a good run. So did this match serve a purpose? I don't know. Maybe not. It's been built up for like 2 weeks and kind of ended on a... Well, the match itself was hilarious. But what comes of this match, I'm not really... I'm not sure. Then we get a Adam Pearce segment with LA Knight, and then the New Day come out. It's a funny backstage promo. It set up LA Knight and Kofi Kingston. Felt excited for this match with a simple and fun setup. Could do more of this in WWE these days. Did this segment accomplish anything? Yes. It got me excited for the LA Knight match. We should do these more often. Just have a backstage running, you know? People are angry. Make them fight. Then we got Byron Saxton and the Judgment Day interview. Finn and JD set up Bailey and Rodriguez. And then I wrote, WWE itself makes it known that Judgment Day never defends their titles. LOL. Which, I mean, come on. It's a little ridiculous. You have the team themselves acknowledge it. I get it. They're heels playing into that. But at the same time, defend these belts. It's like they don't even exist. Now, I wrote, the Vision needs these titles. Did this interview accomplish anything? Not really. I mean, the Judgment Day, they're in a bit of a weird spot right now. I mean, we're really holding off on pulling the trigger for some major change-ups. And while we're kind of in the, dead season almost, you'd think you'd want to pull these triggers so that by the time we get to, War Games and then that end of the year, build up to the Royal Rumble, you want to start moving pieces. Then we got the Seth and Cody vignette. I wrote, good video package, but it was made just to give some fuel to the Crown Jewels Champ versus Champ match. Appreciate them trying to bake in some plot. And am I excited for this match? Yeah, I am. I mean, in concept, Crown Jewel champion versus champion, a lot of people are mad about it because there's no plot there. But the plot kind of writes itself, right? I mean, who is the best champion of the year? Whoever wins that Crown Jewel. At least in kayfabe, So it makes it distinguish. I mean, who do I think is going to win this? Probably Cody. I mean, Cody rarely takes losses. And I don't know if it's time yet for him to lose a match. If you're not going to give it to Drew, don't have anybody else beat him. Drew should have won at WrestlePalooza. That would have been shocking. Maybe that PLA would have been a little bit better. Now we got Raquel Rodriguez versus Bailey. We got a recap of... Here's my notes. We got a recap of Psycho Bailey and Valkyria's antics. Bailey is up and down nuts. Backstage silliness. Lyra's like, this chick is nuts. Bye-bye. Wade Barrett is also hilarious on commentary. Hug me, never let go. like, what, dude? Wade Barrett is hilarious. He also spoke for all of us when during the match he says Raquel is the most improved wrestler. 100%. Then, let's see, her in-ring work has been great as a true giant-like superstar. Very old school. I'm a fan. The Hurricane Rana counter to spinning Bayley into a barricade was a unique spot. Bayley posing like Jeff Hardy before hitting a swanton bomb. Respect. Then Bayley hits a stunner. Then a figure four. She's pulling out all types of moves. And then she gets her eyes raked by Roxanne from ringside, which leads to the big boot, Tahana bomb, 1, 2, 3. Raquel looks strong. Surprised she won since Bayley is still freshly back. And then Lyra runs into no success. Bayley goes cuckoo. Did this match accomplish anything? It's hard to say because I don't know which way we're taking this. I appreciate them making Raquel look strong, but this is Bayley's second night since really returning. And I'll say this. I have never really loved the idea that somebody gets beat in a match and then the match ends and all of a sudden it's like they're a damn Super Saiyan. You know what I mean? They just pop back alive and they beat up everybody. It's like, where was that in the match, you know? I don't know. I'm not too in love with that. I get it. She went psycho. But it's not for me. I didn't like this recently. Like when I believe it was Clash in Paris. And Roman Reigns just had to win the match. So they make Roman Reigns win. And then Bronson Reed has to go, oh, well, I'm going to beat you up now. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't Clash in Paris. It was the one before that. No, it was Clash in Paris, right? Roman Reigns, yeah, he left on like a stretcher. And then Bronson Reed did like a million tsunamis. Like, where was that in the match? Why'd you get pinned? Regardless. Did this match accomplish anything? That is the question. You know, this is another one. I don't know. Okay, so I had to cut for a second because I missed the LA Knight Kofi match. I just went back and watched it. I know that was next on the card. There was a couple backstage segments thrown in there. We got a Maxine Dupree something. And we got, what was it? Io and Kyrie. And then we got Io and Rhea. Mixed emotions going on. I mean, it's probably going to be Kabuki Warriors versus Rhea. Now, let's talk about LA Knight versus Kofi Kingston. I don't have any notes because I just watched this on the fly, but pretty good match. Xavier Woods, hilarious, man. One of the best just shit talkers. He plays the part so well. He reminds me of just so many people I've met, but like he reminds me a lot of like the way people would shit talk on the internet, you know? Very, very accurate to an internet shit talker. And yeah, the Kofi match, pretty good. Wade Barrett, great on commentary, as always. LA Knight, I mean, the finish almost kind of came out of nowhere. He just kind of pulled out a BFT or whatever it's called in a counter. Kofi looked strong. But what did this match accomplish? That's always the question we're going to ask. And it sets up LA Knight. It gives him a win because God only knows LA Knight never wins matches for whatever fucking reason. You know, he's in the main event picture, but he never wins matches. So that's good. That's good. You want to build him up and give him wins. Now, where does this put Kofi and Xavier? I mean, they were kind of talking about how Grayson Waller may be out because of last week. Or at least kayfabe out. And, this doesn't put New Day in contention for the titles. So what does this do for the New Day? Probably nothing. But for LA Knight, it at least gets a win. Was this match completely necessary? Maybe not, but it was fun. It was fun, and it helps LA Knight. Because God knows he needs that. So, I tuned back in around here. Rio and Bravo, Los Americanos. I can't. Versus AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Alright, here's my notes. Lee calls out Dom for AAA belt. Styles calls out Cena for Crown Jewel. El Grande's sidekicks have officially been giving names and fight their first match. In-ring abilities are insane in this fight. All four of them are impressive. Once again, Wade is hilarious on commentary. Keep him on Raw, please, for my sake. Lee and Styles take the victory with a great ending sequence. I wrote, I genuinely don't know who is under the masks of Rio and Bravo. But I think is Bravo Pete Dunne? One of them is Pete Dunne. I can't tell anymore. Their masks got a little bit better. It's hard for me to tell. It could just be, I don't know. I think it's Pete Dunne. Either way, whoever Rio, and Bravo is, whoever they are, great performers, genuinely. And yes, they would lose their debut match under this moniker. Now, did this match accomplish anything? Truthfully, no, right? We debuted a silly tag team that would lose in their first match. AJ Lee is... Did I just say AJ Lee? AJ Styles is going on to do something else. He's already building a different rivalry before this match even started. And same with Dragon Lee. He's building up to a Dom Mysterio match. So this really doesn't do anything unless they're planning on having these guys interfere in one of the future matches, which even still doesn't really accomplish anything. And, maybe have these Los Americanos, I can't even with that name, maybe have them, squash somebody no one cares about. I don't know. You can make them beat Alpha Academy. I mean, Otis and Tozawa they're in no man's land right now. You could have that happen. Bear with me, blowing my nose. So yeah, fun match, but redundant, which is alright. Alright. Then we would get a Crown Jewel vignette and Stephanie Vaquer interview, giving gas to a seemingly filler pay-per-view. And this interview with Stephanie turns into a face-to-face with Stratton. This one especially needs gas. Good call. So I think this mini segment did serve a purpose. Is it successful? That'll be determined in the following weeks. So we got to get there. And then we would have the main event. We had Usos versus The Vision in a tornado tag team match. I wrote, here's the notes. I had, tornado is always a great stipulation. Should be used more often. Action starts right from the Vision walk-in. Waste no time. Braun Breaker's spot over the announce table to Big Jim is nuts. Dude is a leopard. Also burying Jim with the broken pieces of the announce table. That is funny. Braun is such a great classic heel. Seemed like Jay might have been out of position for a spear. Couldn't really tell if it was meant to be a clothesline or not. Match goes on at a good pace regardless. Usos are getting crushed, and then Roman Reigns comes down with a chair. Wasn't expecting that. Double Uso splash ends the match with Braun getting pinned, and Roman comes after him again post-match. Did this match accomplish anything? Well, first off, yes, it did accomplish something. We're moving the plot in a good direction. Things are happening. But I must say, the Usos versus the Bronsons, the Vision, we need to get away from this. Please. We gotta do something else. Turn Jay full heel next week. I'm getting sick of it. Let's not waste any more time. Because this main event has been like the last 8 main events of Raw. Since SummerSlam, this has been the main event of Raw, pretty much every night. I appreciate that we open the show with Rhea and Io instead of the Vision. But we could switch up the main event too, you know? Nobody will forget about the Vision if they don't open and close every show. So, overall, I mean, it was a pretty good episode of Raw. A lot of fun stuff happened. Sorry I keep yawning. Jeez. But, nothing too crazy. We're really in a state right now where, things are a little stagnant. Is that surprising? I'm just going to look up. Is there any good news to talk about? NXT star Ridge Holland to undergo surgery. WWE confirms John Cena's final appearance. I thought we knew that already. It's going to be in Washington, D.C. Yeah. Hall of Famer's son set for professional wrestling debut. I'm not even speaking English right now. Yeah, man. This episode is just... It's all right. I'm seeing Stephen Borden, son of WWE Hall of Famer Sting. Borden will have his debut match at 52 West Hardway. Okay. I'm not even sure about this underground thing. That's cool. Sting's son is wrestling. What else? What other news is there? Take me to the news section. Yeah, and I was also thinking about doing NWA Power, just to... I mean, that's something I'd be interested in covering, to my knowledge. Nobody else is covering NWA Power right now. So maybe that's something I do as a additional podcast episode. I'm thinking, what if every odd number do Raw, every even number we do Power. Could be the case. Sometimes Power, they'll take like a week off while editing taping. Let's see. Yeah, I guess right now I'll just talk about some things I want from WWE. What I would love is some TNA stars showing up on main roster. I know they're doing a program with NXT. We have the Invasion angle going on right now. I know, I just want to see more talent coming up. We've brought AAA into the fold of the main roster. Are we going to pretend that AAA is like a pedigree above TNA? You know what I mean? Because we have AAA superstars, main roster feuds, and NXT feuds. I think we could get some of these higher names in TNA back on board in the WWE. Now, of course, a big problem being name changes, right? You got Nick Nemeth, which is Dolph Ziggler. You got Matt Cardona, which is Zack Ryder. You got Elias. Well, maybe Matt Cardona and Elias are more free agents working with TNA, but they're a part of it. They're a part of it, and maybe we could see these people return. I mean, who wouldn't love to see a Dolph Ziggler return? I know it hasn't been that long, but I would love to see it. I'd love to see Zack Ryder return. I think that would be huge. I want to see the Hardy Boys return. I want to see Jeff Hardy get a run. One last meaningful run with the company. Give him the IC belt. I mean, he's held that belt, goddamn 10 times or something? Give Jeff Hardy another run with the IC belt. I don't expect world title. Of course, I would want world title, but I don't think that's realistic, unfortunately. Maybe you could run back his CM Punk program. I don't think the WWE, because last time they brought back Jeff Hardy, I don't think they realize just how popular he is. I understand you got to proceed with caution with him because of the history of issues, but he really is one of the biggest draws ever, essentially. Like 2008, 2009 Jeff Hardy, I can't think of too many superstars that ever reached that level. Besides literally the faces of the company, which Jeff was never the face of the company, but, there was a time he could have been, based off pure popularity. But yeah, want to see the Hardy Boys back. Broken Matt Hardy, that last run was great. His stuff with Bray Wyatt, rest in peace. Who didn't love that? Come on. What else do I want from WWE? I want some storylines that pay off. I want a Carmelo Hayes push. I want an Aleister Black push. I want to see Obafemi next week on main roster. I don't want to see him in NXT anymore. Move up Obafemi. He doesn't have to look back. I want Trick Williams main roster soon. I would love Javon Evans, but I think he might need to win a belt. But I think Javon could just move straight up. Dude is so incredibly talented. And his match with Sami Zayn last week, dude, come on. Javon Evans should be main roster. Yeah, there's so many good wrestlers in NXT right now. And we're kind of getting stale on the main roster. So I think these shakeups could be huge. So yeah, that's kind of where my head is. I guess we'll keep this one kind of short. You know, I intended this podcast kind of episode to maybe even stretch over an hour, but if I don't got more to say, I'm not going to say more, you know. Maybe next week I have the Raw and NWA. We do the full podcast all in one shot. First half Raw, second half Power. That way I don't have to, double up on episodes and make them longer form like the idea of a podcast is. But yeah. Let's see, I'm just going to take one more scroll at the NXT news or WWE news. Anything. I'm not seeing anything. Alright. I think we're going to call it an episode then. Thank you for watching. We'll cover Raw again next week. It's been a pleasure. Stay tuned. I think PWI, I'm probably going to drop that before this. Yeah, PWI, then the Raw review, then maybe Power review, or I'm also working on something else. I might drop a horror movie little thing, best of the 2020s. Been writing a script for that. So yeah, expect that horror movie list. NWA Power review, and yeah, the PWI reaction will be up already. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bow.